Oh, this one's a bombshell. The tension between Kendra and Jock just refuses to cool down, and now it looks like things are spiraling again. A threatened divorce, Jock snapping in anger, and the possibility of their marriage reaching the breaking point. That's love and hip-hop at its peak drama. The cracks in Jock and Kendra's marriage are no longer whispers in the background. They're exploding front and center. And fans can't look away. What was supposed to be a love and hip-hop fairy tale has turned into a roller coaster of arguments, mistrust, and shocking revelations that have everyone asking, is this really the end for Jock and Kendra? The latest episode pulled back the curtain on a side of their marriage that few expected to see. Cameras caught the moment when Kendra, exhausted from what she calls the same cycle of lies and disrespect, threatened divorce once again, shaking both the cast and the fans who thought maybe, just maybe, they'd turned a corner after their last blow-up. But the bombshell didn't end there. Jock snapped in a way that sent shockwaves through the entire set, leaving even his closest friends questioning whether he's finally crossed a line that Kendra can't forgive. To understand how things got here, we have to rewind. Kendra and Jock's relationship has always been rocky. From the very beginning, fans questioned whether Jock was truly ready to commit. His reputation as a ladies' man, his messy past relationships, and his struggles with honesty created cracks before the wedding even happened. Kendra, a strong and accomplished woman in her own right, believed in giving love a chance, but she also made it clear she wasn't going to tolerate being played. Fast forward to now, and it looks like her patience is running dangerously thin. The latest drama unfolded while the couple was surrounded by other cast members, turning a private marital fight into a very public showdown. According to insiders, what set Kendra off this time wasn't just one issue. It was a buildup of frustrations that had been brewing for months. At first, it seemed like a normal disagreement, Jock being dismissive while Kendra tried to express her feelings. But quickly, the tone shifted. Kendra's voice trembled with both anger and sadness as she called out Jock for failing to live up to his promises. She reminded him that after their last reconciliation, she gave him another chance under one condition: that he would prove he could be faithful, transparent, and truly prioritize their marriage. But in her eyes, he's done the opposite. "You don't take me seriously, Jock," she said in front of everyone, her eyes filling with tears. "I told you I wouldn't go through this again, and here we are. I can't do this anymore. I want a divorce." The room went silent. Even the cast members who had seen their fair share of chaos knew this wasn't just another dramatic moment for the cameras. This was raw, real, and deeply painful. And that's when Jock snapped. Normally the one who tries to charm his way out of arguments with a joke or a sly comment, Jock lost his cool in a way that shocked everyone. His voice grew louder, his words sharper. He accused Kendra of embarrassing him, of exaggerating their issues, and of trying to paint him as the villain in a narrative that he felt wasn't fair. "You keep acting like I'm the worst husband alive," Jock fired back. "But you don't talk about what you do or how you make me feel like I can't ever get it right. Every time I try, it's still not enough for you." The argument spiraled. Kendra, refusing to back down, pushed back even harder. "You don't get it, Jock. It's not about you trying, it's about you changing. You say the right things, but your actions don't match. I can't spend the rest of my life in a marriage where I don't trust my own husband. I refuse to live like that." By this point, the tension was so heavy that even the producers seemed unsure whether to step in. What made the fight hit even harder was how personal it felt. This wasn't a staged argument for TV ratings. This was to people who once swore to love each other, now standing on opposite sides of a crumbling foundation. Kendra's threat of divorce wasn't just a heat-of-the-moment jab. Insiders say she's already spoken privately with her family and closest friends about what her next steps might be. And while some believe she may still give Jock yet another chance, others think this time is different. She's done, one source close to the couple claimed. Kendra has reached her breaking point, and she doesn't want to be made a fool of anymore. She loves Jock, but she also loves herself. And she's tired of sacrificing her happiness for fans. The emotional showdown was both heartbreaking and frustrating. Many took to social media to share their thoughts, with some siding with Kendra and applauding her for standing up for herself, while others felt like Jock's pain in the moment revealed how much he truly does care for her, even if he doesn't always show it the right way. But no matter whose side fans take, one thing is clear: this fight has left a permanent scar on their marriage. Even if they find a way to reconcile again, trust like this doesn't rebuild overnight. And with so many people watching, the pressure on them both is at an all-time high. So now the big question is, can Jock and Kendra survive yet another marital storm? Or has the damage been done, leaving divorce as the only path forward? One thing's for sure, this is only the beginning of a battle. It's far from over. The aftermath of Jock and Kendra's explosive fight didn't just stay between them. It rippled across the entire Love and hip-hop cast, creating chaos, divided loyalties, and an atmosphere so tense you could cut it with a knife. Right after Jock snapped during the confrontation, several castmates tried to step in and calm things down, but it was already too late. The damage was done. The look on Kendra's face said it all. She was no longer moved by Jock's anger or even his frustration. She looked numb, as if something inside her had already switched off. That kind of silence spoke louder than any words, and it left the rest of the room in shock. Producers immediately tried to pull the couple into separate corners, but both were too fired up to walk away quietly. Instead, Jock kept pacing the room, muttering under his breath about being pushed too far and always being the bad guy. Meanwhile, Kendra gathered her things and walked toward the exit with a cold determination that left fans and friends worried about what her next move would be. Outside the studio, the tension spilled over even further. Sierra, who has always been outspoken, rushed to Kendra's side, telling her she deserved better and that maybe divorce was the only way to finally break free. Those words, while meant to be supportive, only poured gasoline on an already raging fire. Inside, Jock's boys, like Scrappy and young Jock's longtime crew, tried to reel him back in. They reminded him that blowing up in front of the cameras wasn't a good look, and that no matter how heated he was, he couldn't afford to lose Kendra like this. But Jock wasn't ready to hear reason. "She's making me out to be the villain," he said, his voice cracking with a mixture of rage and hurt. "I've given her everything, and it's still not enough." This is where the cast really started to divide. Some sided with Jock, feeling like Kendra was too quick to pull the divorce card every time things got rough. Others felt like Kendra's reaction was completely valid after all. How many chances does one person get before enough is enough? Erica Mena, never one to stay quiet, jumped into the mix and made things worse by openly calling Jock out. "You've been playing the same game for years, Jock," she said. "You want to be a husband when it's convenient, but when it comes time to act like one, you disappear. Kendra deserves better than being stuck in this cycle." That jab set Jock off again. He shot back at Erica, reminding her of her own messy past relationships and claiming she had no right to judge him. Suddenly, what started as a marriage crisis turned into a full-on cast brawl, with people shouting over each other and alliances shifting right before the cameras. Meanwhile, Kendra stayed quiet. She didn't join in the back-and-forth chaos. Instead, she sat to the side, scrolling through her phone and refusing to look at anyone. That silence was more powerful than anything she could have said. It showed that she was no longer interested in the drama. She was interested in action. And that action might just be ending her marriage, behind the scenes. Producers pulled Kendra aside to ask if she truly meant it when she threatened divorce. Her response was chilling. "I've already spoken to my lawyer," she revealed. "This isn't just for TV. I'm tired of being embarrassed, tired of not being respected. I didn't marry Jock to keep going through heartbreak. If he can't change, then I have to." That revelation sent shockwaves through production. For years, viewers have watched Jock and Kendra's ups and downs, rooting for them to finally get it right. But now it seems like fans are witnessing the very end of their story, of course. Jock wasn't about to let that narrative run without his side of the story. Later in the night, he sat down with Scrappy and Jock's cousin to vent his frustrations. He claimed that while he wasn't perfect, Kendra never gave him the space to grow. "She holds every mistake over my head," Jock admitted. "I try, man, I really do. But no matter what I do, it's like she's waiting for me to mess up again. How am I supposed to live like that?" Scrappy, who's dealt with his own relationship struggles, tried to offer advice, telling Jock that women don't just pull the divorce card unless they're really at their breaking point. "Bro, when a woman threatens divorce more than once, she's not playing. She's already halfway out the door. You've got to decide if you're willing to fight for her or if you're just gonna let her go." Jock sat quietly after that, his usual charm gone. The weight of the moment was written all over his face, for perhaps the first time. Fans saw him genuinely worried that he might lose Kendra for good. Meanwhile, Kendra wasn't alone. Sierra and Bambi rallied around her, telling her she needed to focus on her own peace and happiness. They encouraged her to stop waiting for Jock to change and to start prioritizing herself. Bambi, who's had her fair share of drama with Scrappy, told Kendra that sometimes love isn't enough when respect and trust are gone. The episode ended on a cliffhanger. Kendra walking out of the building, getting into her car, and driving off without saying another word to Jock. The cameras lingered on Jock's face as he watched her leave. His jaw clenched, his eyes filled with regret. But his pride keeping him from chasing after her, the fans watching at home erupted on social media. Some blamed Jock entirely, saying his history of cheating and dishonesty finally caught up with him. Others felt Kendra was too quick to give up on the marriage, arguing that every relationship has struggles and that she knew who Jock was when she married him. But no matter the opinions, one thing was clear. Everyone was hooked on what would happen next. Would Jock swallow his pride, own up to his mistakes, and fight for his marriage? Or would Kendra finally slam the door shut on a relationship that many fans warned her about from the beginning? For now, the future of their marriage hangs by a thread, and neither side seems ready to back down. The night after the explosive fight, Jock and Kendra were nowhere to be seen together. Social media was ablaze, fans dissecting every moment of their blow-up. Hashtags like hashtag Team Kendra and hashtag PrayForJOC trended as viewers chose sides. Some saw Kendra as a woman finally standing up for herself, refusing to tolerate another cycle of hurt. Others sympathized with Jock, believing he was misunderstood and unfairly painted as the villain. But while fans argued online, the couple's reality was unfolding behind the scenes. Kendra had packed a bag and moved into her mother's house for the time being. To her, this wasn't about making a dramatic exit for television, it was about protecting her peace. For years, she had endured the ups and downs of being married to a man like Jock, carried both charm and chaos in equal measure. But at this point, she wondered if love alone could justify all the pain. Meanwhile, Jock woke up to an empty house and an even emptier heart. The silence hit him harder than Kendra's words the night before. For the first time, he realized she wasn't bluffing. Threatening divorce wasn't just a weapon in an argument anymore. It was a reality knocking on their front door. Determined to fix things, Jock decided to visit Kendra at her mother's house. Cameras followed as he showed up with flowers and a solemn expression. But Kendra didn't greet him with open arms. Instead, she met him on the porch, arms crossed, eyes tired but fierce. "What are you doing here, Jock?" she asked flatly. "I just want to talk," he replied. "I can't let it end like this." The conversation that followed was raw, emotional, and far from scripted. Jock admitted to his mistakes, acknowledging that his temper and pride often pushed Kendra away. "I know I mess up," he said, his voice breaking. "But I love you, Kendra. I don't know how to show it right all the time. But I don't want to lose you." Kendra, however, wasn't moved by words alone. "Love isn't enough anymore," she said. "You can say all the right things today, but what happens next week? Or the week after? I can't keep living in this cycle, waiting for the next blow-up." Her words cut deep, but they were the truth. And for once, Jock didn't try to joke his way out of it. He stood there in silence, tears welling in his eyes, finally realizing that this wasn't a battle he could win with charm. Later in the episode, the cast gathered for a group dinner and event that producers had hoped would ease tensions. Instead, it became another battlefield. Kendra arrived alone, sitting at the far end of the table. Jock entered moments later, visibly nervous. The atmosphere was thick with unease. Sierra immediately tried to comfort Kendra, while Scrappy motioned for Jock to sit down and chill. But as the drinks flowed and old wounds resurfaced, the dinner spiraled out of control. Kendra broke the silence by dropping the bombshell everyone was waiting for. "I've already talked to a lawyer. Divorce papers are being prepared." The table erupted. Erica gasped. Sierra applauded Kendra's courage, and Scrappy dropped his fork in shock. Jock's face turned pale, his hands trembling as he tried to process the words. "You're really gonna do this? After everything we've been through?" Jock asked, his voice trembling. "Yes," Kendra said firmly, "because everything we've been through has shown me that this isn't working. I've given you chance after chance, and every time I end up hurt. I refuse to keep sacrificing myself for a marriage that doesn't feel like a marriage anymore," Jock snapped. Slamming his hand on the table, he shouted, "So you're just gonna throw it all away? Like I'm nothing? Like we didn't build a life together?" The room went silent, all eyes on the unraveling couple. But instead of backing down, Kendra held her ground. "I'm not throwing anything away," she said calmly. "I'm reclaiming my life." The weight of her words silenced even Jock. He leaned back in his chair, defeated. Realizing this was no longer about winning an argument, it was about losing the woman he loved after the dinner. Jock broke down in a private confessional. He admitted he was terrified of losing Kendra, but also admitted that he didn't know how to fix himself in time to save the marriage. "I always thought she'd be there no matter what," he said through tears. "But maybe I pushed her too far this time." On the other side, Kendra's confessional revealed her resolve. "I love Jock," she admitted, "but love can't be the only thing holding us together. I deserve stability, respect, and peace. And if that means walking away, then that's what I have to do." The episode ended with a powerful split screen. Jock sitting alone in their house, staring at a picture of them on their wedding day, while Kendra packed her clothes into a suitcase at her mother's house. The contrast was devastating. One man clinging to memories, one woman choosing her future. Social media once again went wild. Some begged Kendra to reconsider, believing Jock could change if given enough time. Others celebrated her strength, praising her for finally prioritizing her happiness over his promises. Memes, think pieces, and fan theories flooded the internet, proving that this storyline wasn't just reality TV. It was a mirror for real-life struggles in love and marriage. And as the cameras faded to black, one thing was certain: the fate of Jock and Kendra's marriage was hanging by the thinnest of threads. Fans would have to wait to see if this was truly the end, or if Jock had one last chance to prove he could be the man Kendra needed him to be. This love and hip hop drama has everyone talking. Kendra packing her bags, Jock breaking down, and divorce papers looming. But what do you think? Should Kendra finally walk away for good, or does Jock deserve one last chance to prove himself? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's see where fans really stand. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next explosive update. Trust me, this story is far from over, and the next episode could change everything.